Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Looks like I just disappeared. Did I disappear? You can still hear me?
We can hear you
Okay.
and see you.
All right. So for roll call, I see Commissioner Rourke is here. I'm also present. Commissioner Baskerville is ill and won't be present today. So we do have two commissioners, so that is a quorum under our rules. So we can go ahead and move into the open public comment. If there's anyone from the public who likes to make a comment today, please let us know.
We are just ready to get the sign-in sheet. We do have a few folks here, and I think the first person on the list is Amber, actually.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Amber Smith, Legal Counsel for the Commission. Here to give the disclaimer for open public comment for these meetings. Regular meetings of this commission shall be open to the public and will always have time designated on the agenda for public input. This shall be an opportunity for interested parties to address the commission on issues of concern or to provide feedback on issues related to the code or its enforcement. Public input is an official, on-the-record communication designed to provide the Commission with pertinent information to consider during their administrative decision-making processes. This oral process does not replace or append the process for filing a complaint. Further, this public comment is not an opportunity for individuals to discuss with the Commission at this time any open complaints that they are looking to review today that are on the agenda. Of the 5 complaints that are listed on the agenda, those are prior to those going to hearing. And per the administrative rules of this body, ex parte communications for the purpose of this section means a communication with the complainant, respondent, a witness, or any other person in a pending complaint that communication takes place outside of a scheduled hearing. So this is a reminder for anyone who is listed to provide public comment today that the Commission will not be hearing anything about the specifics of any particular complaint that has been listed on the agenda today. The appropriate time to discuss any facts or pertinent information for that would be at any time that there is a hearing scheduled in the future, as this is a quasi-judicial body. Thank you.
Carmen De Leon.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Just a moment.
hold on just a moment, Carmen. Please. I just,
You have to switch it.
wait one moment.
Need a special.
Please start now.
My name is Carmen De Leon, and I'm here because I was just holding the council accountable because these are $1 million choices they're making. They should be held at $1 million standard. And when I see somebody showing up looking like they're hungover and falling asleep at almost every meeting,
Ms. DeLeon, there
I'm
can
telling
be
you
no
why-
discussion about the particular complaint that you have. This is not.
then what is this for?
This is for public comment regarding administrative process and the code.
Okay, so
If a
what's going to
hearing will
happen
happen-
when you have an active trader who is actively copying? Here it is. He even said that I'm not.
Ma'am, you're engaging in ex parte communication with the commission at this time. You cannot communicate with the commission at this time about the facts related to your complaint when a hearing is set, ma'am. Today is not the appropriate day for that. This is for public comment.
I got this. It only said a bunch of rules and no date.
That's correct. No hearing has been set so far. We're early on in this administrative process, and the commission is going to hear about the complaints and determine whether or not they'll move forward with a hearing or to a hearing. Today is not the appropriate time. Thank you.
Wynn Gersich.
Go ahead, please.
Tell them why the complaint was issued.
I came here in support of Carmen because I was there when I saw Fuentes doing his thing, and we've seen too much of this. And this is
Pardon me, ma'am,
unethical.
you're discussing something that's in support of a complaint that has not been heard or has been discussed by this commission, and this would be ex parte communication. The comments that you would like to give today sound like they would be appropriate comments for a hearing when a hearing is set.
Well,
That's
another
not
hearing
today.
you should also have is on Wendy Cleveland, because that woman should not call in and tell people that they shouldn't be allowed to speak or anything else. And then she claimed she was going to run for office so she could run this clown show. I listened to that over and over again because I'm sitting there going, I can't believe that that's allowed to do it. And yet she's telling you that she wants to do something with fish on the Washougal River. Now, she works for you. She shouldn't be doing that either. And that woman shouldn't be able to call in and criticize anybody that spoke or anybody that calls in. And that's an ethical violation, that if she thinks she knows the law and reading what she said, and then she says, well, I'm going to go, I'm going to run for what office and I'll run that clown show. You know something? She has no business calling in and doing that. When I spoke about, it was about the COVID shots. And when I read something from Fauci's own website, and then she says, we have nothing to do with that. And I'm thinking, well, who are you? Do you work for this? Are you working here on the 6th floor? You shouldn't have some staff member calling in and complaining about what someone talks about, because if she read what I was talking and showing you, there's no reason she should have made any comment at all. So I think a lot of this thing with this ethics board, you better check your own people first. And as far as Fuentes and flipping the finger, and then we've got the mayor flipping the finger, it's outrageous. So, I mean, this ethics committee really needs to take care of stuff. And also, too, about these signs and things being ripped off. I've never heard anybody say something that telling the public not to do that. That would help.
That concludes for the people in the room, but we do have one online that's signed up.
Okay.
Caller, you've been sent a request to unmute. Please go ahead with your comment after stating your name for the record.
Good afternoon. Kimberly Goheen Elbin, life citizen of Clark County, Washington, USA. I was also born there in Vancouver, Washington, back in the good old days, right? Well, I'm going to be here for support for Justin Forsman. I can say that, I think. And then I'm going to spend my 3 minutes or so suggesting that when I find time, and I'm actually a pretty busy patriot trying to survive here, right? That I'm going to put on record today to ask this commission to watch either on CBTV or Facebook, not sure where you're going to find it, maybe in the archive, but the Vancouver City Council meeting of October 24th of 2022. On that evening, I'll say this, the Mayor Ann McInerney Ogre ordered her police officer to escort me out of the building. He actually just took me out of chambers. But when he came up, surprisingly to me, and grabbed my arm physically and hauled me out, put bruises on, and I went to the hospital to take pictures and make a complaint. I actually filed a complaint with an attorney that took it pro bono. And somehow, some way, it was dropped after 4 months of keeping me hanging on. And God bless this attorney. I pray that he's still on God's side, serving, God and the people and families. But I've got a little bit of a tainted outlook on this, that I believe he might have been paid off. I'll say might have been, right? So it was a $500,000 lawsuit. It is documented as a claim, but then of course was dropped. And me being poor in money and rich in the Lord, I've let time go by, not pursuing because of finances. With that said, it still happened, and I want you to look at it. And I'll be in writing and go through the proper procedure here when I take time out for myself. Because frankly, as a patriot, when God put me on fire at the start of this pandemic 5 years ago, I took an oath on my 18th birthday at the Vancouver Barracks to protect America from foreign and domestic enemies. And Vancouver City Council and the now Clark County Council are domestic enemies right now, in the sense that they do not follow the full constitution of what our forefathers intended for this country. We cannot have illegal immigrants here harbored at our hard-earned tax dollars. I don't know who they are. You have now mentally put people, when we're of intelligence and understanding of our local government, you have put us in a phase of, oh my God, you brought.
And that concludes public comment.
Okay, thanks everyone for your public comments. We appreciate you coming in today. We'll now move on to approval of the minutes from our last meeting. Commissioner Rourke, have you had a chance to review, and is there a motion to approve them?
I have had a chance to review and I move that they be approved.
Okay, I will second the motion since I'm the only person here to do that. And those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The minutes from the last meeting are approved. So the next order of business is to go into consideration of our complaints. Complaint number 2025-04, we will not be hearing today after all. I have recused myself from consideration of that complaint because I'm an active practicing local attorney who appears before our court, and the complaint appears to involve an employee of the court. So I think it's most prudent if I step aside from that one. And with Commissioner Baskerville's absence, we do not have a quorum. So we won't be considering that today. We will continue that to our next meeting. We will consider the other 4 complaints. And so at this time, we'll go ahead and move into executive session. And we will return.
Commissioner, we'll need to set a time and then you will have to call when we will return to that time pursuant to the statute regarding executive session. I believe the request from staff would be at least 15 minutes. So if Commissioner would be willing to entertain returning at 2:58 p.m. from executive session.
That works fine for me.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you all in executive session. Thank you.
Can you restart the recording?
It's going.
Chair Murray has asked us to announce that executive session will be extended for an additional 10 minutes. And open session will reconvene at 3:18. Thank you. There's a correction. Executive session will reconvene at 3:08. Thank you.
Okay, we're back from executive session. We'll go into deliberations on the complaints we're considering today. We'll start with, let's see here. We'll start with complaint 2025-05. This is one of 3 complaints that center around the complainant's allegations that interactions she had with Clark County Councilor Will Fuentes, or about interactions that she had with Clark County Will Fuentes. At nearly every meeting where we've evaluated a complaint, in fact, I think at every meeting, we've explained the sources of our ethical rules and the standards that we apply on our initial review. And those are all readily accessible on the Commission's website. And at least I would hope that complainants would take some time to make an effort to explain which of our ethical rules they seek to enforce. And the latter part of this meeting today, we'll be looking at some revisions to our processes to kind of help people along with that process. For this complaint, at this time, while I agree with the complainant that county councilors should observe more decorum than the complaint describes, these allegations don't remotely approach our standards or our rules in my view. So I will vote to rule that the allegations in this complaint do not constitute an ethics violation. Commissioner Rourke, do you have anything to add, or is there a motion?
I do not have anything to add, and I would concur with your thinking. So I would move that we do not move this complaint forward towards an investigation.
Okay, I'll second that motion. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion's carried unanimously. Moving on to complaint number 2025-06. Essentially the same allegations, and I have essentially the same analysis, and we'll vote the same way.
Aye as well. Do you need another motion?
Yes, please.
I move that we do not move this complaint forward in this process.
Okay, those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion's unanimously carried. Complaint number 2025-07, again, is essentially the same allegations. In this one, I believe we had a voicemail complaint that had some initial allegations. And I want to say that I honestly find some of the comments in the voicemail complaint offensive and inappropriate. Ethics does not have anything to do with sexual orientation or race. So again, I reiterate that we are following very specific ethical rules and state law, and I encourage our complainants to familiarize themselves with those to the best extent that they can before filing complaints. I'll vote the same way on this one.
I as well. I would move that we do not move this complaint forward to the investigation process.
Okay, I'll second the motion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, unanimously carried. We can now move on to complaint number 2025-08. This is a complaint filed by Justin Forsman. Mr. Forsman complains that a county employee made defamatory statements about him in public online forums. The complaint includes enough information to raise the possibility that the employee may have improperly used county resources for personal purposes. As we said before, at this stage, we ask whether there's sufficient cause to warrant an investigation. and we find sufficient cause when a reasonable person with knowledge of all the facts may conclude that an ethical violation occurred. So in this case, since we cannot determine from the complaint the extent to which the employee may have improperly used county resources, I cannot conclude that no violation occurred. So with that said, I'll vote today in favor of a motion to rule that sufficient cause exists to warrant an investigation of this complaint. Commissioner Rourke?
Well, I would make that motion that this complaint be moved forward to an investigation to determine whether there is sufficient cause.
Okay, I'll second the motion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I also, that motion is also carried. We'll be looking at times to set a special meeting to address this investigation. So we can talk about that further later. And at this point then, we can move on to our discussion of updates to our business process and administrative procedures and developing a complaint form that will help our complainants be more effective. I got a chance to look at the recommended changes, and I favor all of them. There was one thing, though, that I was concerned about. Let me see if I can pull this up here. It's that I think on the complaint form, the rules aren't really stated the same way that they are in our code. So let me see if I can pull this up here. So in the complaint form, section 4, I think from the code, it should be that we're looking at RCW Title 42, and then a little bit more specifically, RCW 42.23.070 and Clark County Human Resources Policy 13.1. So, and that's just what our code says. So I would recommend we change the complaint form in that section to say designate the specific ethics rules from state law or county human resources policy that you allege a violation of, including but not limited to RCW Title 42, RCW 42.23.070, and Clark County Human Resources Policy 13.1.
We can make those, oh, pardon, Amber Smith. We can make those changes to that if that's what the commission would like to see. Would you like to have review of those changes before publishing this document, or would it be sufficient to take note of those changes and then publish after today's meeting if that's the approval of the majority of the commission?
I personally would be fine with taking note and just moving it forward after this meeting, once the changes are made.
Yeah, I would too.
But I agree with your recommendation, Adam.
Okay, thank you. And then I guess I did have one comment on the administrative procedures in section 3.6. And I noticed this in reviewing this, even though it wasn't necessarily something we talked about before, but this says that we're going to do a written ruling. And I don't know that a written ruling is really necessary when we tend to announce our decisions in our hearings. So is it possible to just say, to change this to just say that we'll announce our ruling and action recommendation in open session at the conclusion of a hearing?
Yes, if that is what the commission would like to do, we can change that language. I apologize. I'm getting my version up with the notes so I can clearly write that down. So let's see here. So when looking at 3.6, the second sentence, it says the commission shall promptly forward the written decision. Pardon me. So first sentence is, within 30 calendar days after the conclusion of a hearing on a complaint, the commission shall, based upon the preponderance of the evidence, make and fully record its permanent record in its permanent records, a written ruling on the complaint and what action it deems appropriate as provided under the code. Are we wanting to change all of that language to say that upon an oral ruling, or I apologize how you phrase that, Chair?
I think to just say that we will announce our decision and recommendations at the hearing. I don't even know. I'm not necessarily opposed to doing written rulings if that's the best way to do this, but I don't even know with our processes how we would do written rulings, because theoretically, I guess one person would draft a written ruling, and then we'd have to have deliberations to make sure everyone agreed with the ruling. And I imagine that most of these will go the way that our last one went, where we can go into executive session and then come back and do our ruling orally.
Well, and then isn't there a written record of the hearing itself?
Like a transcript. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes. And so just to clarify here, if we were to change the language that is in 3.6, here's what I've drafted briefly. So for the first sentence, it would state within 30 calendar days, or would we want to say immediately at the conclusion of the hearing, or at the conclusion of the hearing?
Yeah, I think I just say that the commission will announce its ruling and action recommendation in open session at the conclusion of the hearing.
Okay, so here's, yes, what I've drafted. At the conclusion of the hearing, the commission shall, based upon the preponderance of the evidence, and make and fully record in its permanent records, which we do with our minutes and audio recordings. The commission will announce its decision and recommendations upon what action it deems appropriate as provided under Clark County Code 2.07020. And then I would strike the second and third sentence about mailing. Is that the proposed edit that the commission would prefer?
That sounds right to me.
Yes, and I support that as well.
Okay, per these administrative procedures and our processes that we have today, I would be asking the commission to entertain a motion to approve all of the edits as they've proposed moving forward, so we can accurately promulgate those and then update this so we can publish them online.
Okay, I would move that we accept all the recommendations made, the edits made to the proposed document. Did I get it all?
Commissioner Rourke, does that include the edits proposed today at this meeting?
And the edits proposed today at this meeting. Yes.
Okay. I'll second that motion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Carried unanimously again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so for the good of the order, do we want to consider looking at a special meeting to consider the investigation of 2025-08 and also to consider 2025-04?
Yes. I would propose September 30th. That would work for me.
September 30th would also work for me. I guess it's dependent on Commissioner Baskerville also being able to make that date, since I won't be able to participate in 2025-04.
Right.
So can we ask the county to check in with Commissioner Baskerville and then get back to us?
Yes. Excuse me. Yes, we can do that.
Okey doke. All right. Well, does anyone else have anything for the good of the order?
I do not.
Nope. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Good to see everybody here in the middle of summer, or I guess summer's winding down now, but we will see you all, I guess, at that special session whenever we schedule that.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.
You too. Bye.
Bye.